singing 122.
Good morning, everyone. And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Silver Spring. My name is Bruce McConaughey. I'm this morning's worship associate. My pronouns are he and him. From many cultures and sexualities, genders and beliefs, we come together into one congregation. We know it can take a lot of courage to try out a new religious community. So if you're visiting with us today, we're so glad that you're here. If you'd like to learn more about our free faith and how to join this congregation, Joanne Kim is today's welcoming captain and will be, there she is, waving in the back, and we'll be happy to meet with you after the service. So now it's time to greet one another. Those on Zoom, please greet one another in the chat, while those here in body greet one another around the sanctuary. And remember, when the music starts, please head back to your seat and rise for the opening hymn. The words to all hymns will be on the screen. Thank you.
I say it on the record, y'all, and I say it on the beat. I paint it on the wall, y'all, so that everybody sees. When we all see justice, then we'll all see peace. It's the same as it ever was, but there's gotta be a better way. It's the same as it ever was, but today's a different day. You and me couldn't make that change, but it's the same as it ever was. We better start today. A revolution is a battle between the future and the past. The battle's never over, but the future's gonna last. Malcolm had an ex, yo, and the king had a dream. And like Spike Lee said, yo, you should always do the right thing. If the world's full of anger and everybody's got a gun, then what should I say, yo, to my teenage son? Mandela did lockdown for 28 years, but there's millions more, y'all, still raining down tears. I say it in my own house, and I say it on the street. I say it on the record, yo, I say it on the beat. I paint it on the wall, y'all, until everybody sees. When we all see justice, then we'll all see peace. It's the same as it ever was, but there's gotta be a better way. It's the same as it ever was, but today's a different day. You and me couldn't make that change, but it's the same as it ever was. We better start today. They can try to divide us, they can try to increase all the pain and suffering, but this is everybody's street. There is just one love, y'all, then we'll all see peace. Same as it ever was, but there's gotta be a better way. Same as it ever was, but today's a different day. You and me couldn't make that change. It's the same as it ever was. Better start today. Same as it ever was. We better start today.
Welcome to our equinox service, our fall equinox service. I'm Donna B. Smith. My pronouns are she, her. As you can see by the arrangement of the chairs, this is not our usual service. Today is the equinox. It's a moment of balance in the year when the length of the days and the length of the nights are equal. Soon we will be tipping towards longer nights and shorter days. The Earth's tilt around the sun and trip around the sun is inexorable. Our democracy and climate also hang in balance. With these, we can influence the direction in which they will tip. Let us take advantage of this equinox to have a moment of reflection and to take stock. We're going to do some different rituals today. There's going to be two main rituals. We may need to have people fill in. I think maybe we can manage it like this. So, but if you want to fill in closer, that would be fine. So, thank you.
Yeah, there's still some seats up here for those who might want to get a little closer. Or not. Okay. So, as Donna B. is suggesting, today's service has some ritual elements in it. Yeah, come on up. Come on down. So in order to maintain the flow of the service, we'll collect the offering now instead of later. And can we get that offering slide up? Here we go. Yes. However you choose to make your gift, I hope you will give generously. Now, please join me in dedicating all of our gifts to the mission of this congregation, which is to create joyful spiritual community where we connect deeply, serve, and mobilize for our collective liberation. Thank you.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Please stand in body and spirit and face the directions as they are called. Okay. Hail, guardians of the East, direction of the rising sun, powers of air, we invite your presence and ask your winds to blow away the clouds of confusion and the fog of lies around us, so we may see and speak the clear sky of truth.
Hail, guardians of the South, direction of the noonday sun, powers of fire. We invite your presence and ask you to stop the devastation of wildfires, but stoke the fire of commitment and feed the spark of hope in each of us.
Hail, guardians of the West, direction of the setting sun, powers of water. We invite your presence and ask you to wash away the grimy film of gloom and despair and flood our minds with the vision of a better future. Fire.
Hail, guardians of the North, direction of midnight, powers of earth. We invite your presence and ask you to teach us to restore the balance between giving and taking, and honoring the balance of our own bodies and this abundant body we call Gaia, Mother Earth. Hail and welcome.
Powers above, we invite your presence. Expand our hearts that we be filled with compassion for all beings. Powers below, we invite your presence and ask you to sharpen our focus on the tasks that call us into a brighter future.
As we put compassion at the center, let us say together, may this light warm our hearts with love and caring and guide us in the ways of truth.
So, in many of our modern pagan traditions, the autumn equinox is a time for celebrating the harvest as the earth tilts the northern hemisphere into a time of light to a time of darkness. So, this time of year is called Mabon, for Mabon ap Modron, great son of the Great Mother, who is one of the dying vegetation gods. And he is honored for all he has given as we look forward to the time of rest for the earth. So this is a holiday. Mabon is a holiday celebrated with ritual and with feasts, gathering friends and family close together. So today's story is an adaptation of a book called Smokey and the Feast of Mabon by Catherine M. Valenti. So I don't know that it happened this way, but I do know that it's true, that long ago and far away, or maybe recently and quite nearby, there was a girl named Smokey who lived in a house by the woods who was named for the smell of autumn hearth fires. Smokey loved to garden with her mother and to watch the herbs and flowers grow. In September, though, the flowers started to droop and to wilt, and the brown wilting leaves made Smokey sad. So she went for a walk in the woods to cheer herself up. Now, Smokey walked for too long in the woods. Anyone ever done that? Walked for a little too long in the woods. And when she turned to go home, she couldn't find the way. She began to shiver with cold. Suddenly, Smokey noticed a golden light up ahead. The light sparkled around a beautiful table covered with food. Around the table were a sparrow, 2 raccoons, a baby bear, a tall stag with enormous horns and great dark eyes, a tall jackrabbit with long straight ears, and a red fox. A beautiful lady relaxed at the head of the feast, rocking a cradle. She said, "You're just in time for the Mabon feast. The new year is almost ready to wake up," the lady said. "Tonight we are having a feast to celebrate the end of the summertime and the beginning of autumn, to say goodbye to the old year and give thanks for all the wonderful things he brought us. Would you like a piece of pie?" Smokey sat between the fox and the lady goddess and ate all the pumpkin pie, corns, and cupcakes she could. The sparrow sang, the raccoon danced, the fox showed her how to make a leafy crown just like the ladies. Everyone ate and drank until their stomachs hurt and their eyes began to droop. As the moon rose, a figure walked slowly and thoughtfully towards them. This was the old year who had been young and springtime and now was ready to rest. The fox told Smokey about how gods and goddesses could appear as anything from ladies and old men to stags or other animals, how Smokey could hear their wisdom if she learned to listen. And just as the stars began checking their watches and tisking over the lateness of the hour, Smokey yawned. She said goodbye to the lady and the animals. The lady said, "Remember to enjoy what you have and give thanks to the earth.
Know that even in the deepest forest, you can find happiness and plenty if you know how to look. And suddenly, the path was easy to follow, and Smokey found that when she arrived home, the afternoon sun was somehow still shining on her mother in the garden, pulling up the wilted flowers. "Happy Mabon, Mommy!" Smokey ran and hugged her mother. "Well, happy Megan, Smokey," her mother laughed, smoothing away the last dead bits of flowers. Smokey looked at the empty flower bed and realized she wasn't sad anymore. "The end of things is really the beginning of things. They'll grow again next year," she said. Smokey's mother smiled. "How would you like pumpkin pie for dessert tonight, Smokey?" she asked. All right, y'all. I now invite our kids, our youth, our RE teachers for the day to come forward to the chalice. The learning and growing our children and teens do together is not separate from the worship we share, but an expansion of it into different classrooms, an expansion of this circle. So in this spirit, I'm going to invite someone from each of our 3 worship breakout groups. We have 3 worship breakout groups today. We've got our junior youth group, we've got our elementary group, and we've got our preschool group. So Linda, would you be willing to take this chalice for the preschoolers? Light that. And then let's see, who from our junior youth group hasn't gotten to light a thing yet? Isabella, you didn't get to light last week. Would you like to light one for the junior youth group? And you're with elementary. Would you like to light the elementary one? Or are you going to junior youth group today? So our junior youth group is 9 to 14-year-olds. Then you're there. Excellent. Do we have someone younger than 9 willing to light our elementary? Excellent. Thank you, Sweet Pea. And while we light these, let's sing the first verse of This Little Light of Mine. And then as we head out, we will sing the second verse.
Distracted by the kids, sorry about that. Okay. Banach by John O'Donohue. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the gray window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colors, indigo, red, green, and azul blue come to awaken you in a moment of delight. When the canvas frays in the currach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to safely bring you home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours, and may the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mine your life.
Good morning. My name is Bob Geiger. My pronouns are he and him, and I am the chair of our UCSS Defending Democracy group. A tipping point is where a small change can have a big impact. Tipping points can be times of danger, but also of opportunity and possibility. Because small changes can lead to a big impact, that means each of us can have a significant role to play in history. This time of year, at the equinox, when day and night are in balance, a small change in the amount of sunlight brings about a whole new reality. Leaves change color and fall off the trees. Birds take off and fly thousands of miles south. Perhaps the most fundamental tipping point on this planet is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, when water turns to ice. At this temperature, a drop of half a degree can send cars skidding across the road. This tipping point is not just metaphorical, it is part of physical reality. The pagans are onto something when they see this time of the equinox as a season of important change, of rebalancing, a time for taking stock. Elections are the way we take stock as a country. Perhaps it is no coincidence that we hold our elections in the fall. This election is a time for each of us to take stock of the tipping points we face as a nation, as a democracy, and as a planet, to consider what is at stake and decide what we will do, what impact we will have. There are many things at stake in this election, from abortion rights to immigration to foreign policy, but there are two issues effectively on the ballot where we face potentially irreversible tipping points: democracy and climate change. I'm sure it's not news to you that democracy and our planet are both in crisis. Both of these have already been areas of focus for our congregation. But the tipping points involved now mean that systems could change in such a powerful way that it may be very difficult to ever go back. What I want you to consider today is not just the peril in these tipping points, but the promise as well. In both areas, we may well encounter tipping points that could take us sharply in a positive direction. The outcome of this election could, perhaps surprisingly, push our politics in our struggle against climate change into an unprecedented new and blessed reality from which there will also be no going back. Climate scientists have raised concerns about several tipping points that could become self-reinforcing. For instance, scientists think there's nearly twice as much carbon frozen in the Arctic permafrost as there is in the Earth's atmosphere. If substantial quantities start to melt, that will be very bad because the carbon released will make the planet warmer, which will cause more carbon to be released, which will make the planet warmer, which will, well, you get the idea, I hope. Despite the dangers and everything we know, human beings still sent more carbon into the atmosphere last year than ever before. Climate scientists say we need to act now and make big changes within a decade. The United States and the world now recognize the climate problem, at least to some extent. There have been real steps forward. 3 years ago, by a margin of 1 vote in the Senate, the U.S. passed the largest and most sweeping climate bill in its history, which is leveraging money for our energy transition here at home and providing a model and incentive for the same internationally. At least 8 countries are now considered carbon neutral. As of last November, about 145 countries, which account for close to 90% of global emissions, had announced or are considering net zero targets, mostly by 2050. Last year, 1 in 6 new vehicles sold in our country was a hybrid or electric vehicle. The tipping point on clean energy may already have arrived. Since 2008, the cost of a wind turbine has fallen by more than 50%, and the cost of solar panels has fallen by more than 90%. Wind and solar are now cheaper than any form of fossil fuels, even from fracking. And the costs of producing wind and solar energy are expected to keep falling. The entrepreneurs with money know this, and they are acting on this knowledge. Last year, more of the electricity generated in the US came from renewable energy, from wind, solar, and hydro, than came from coal. Tom Steyer, the billionaire investor and climate activist, writes, "Most people don't realize it, but in America, the clean energy projects that have already been proposed could account for 80% of the energy our country needs. That's a huge accomplishment, and it means that producing enough renewable energy to get to net zero emissions is well within our reach." Unfortunately, depending on the outcome of this election, at a time when we can ill afford it, much of the momentum toward climate change could be undone and important policies and programs rolled back. On the political side, I don't need to catalog for you all the ways in which one of the outcomes could undercut democracy. Once substantially weakened or twisted, democracy may be hard to get back. That makes this election a tipping point. But this election could be a tipping point in the other direction as well. The US is approaching a demographic tipping point. In the 1950s, non-Hispanic whites made up 90% of the US population. Today, that number is about 60%, and the projections are that in 20 years, non-Hispanic whites will make up less than half of the population. This is already the case in at least 7 states, including Maryland. For some, this change is disquieting, even scary, posing a threat to self-image and to long-held power structures. Can we, in this election, show politicians that by stoking this fear, by demonizing immigrants as criminals and job stealers, and casting doubt on the integrity of our elections, is no longer a winning strategy? As historian Robert Kagan writes, today the forces of anti-liberalism can see that time, demographics, and the system are all working against them. The complexion of the country has changed too much. White supremacy as a political platform is losing viability as the white population dwindles. Their only option, as anti-liberal intellectuals argue, is to overthrow the system now in the 2024 election. If our democratic institutions persist through this election, the demographic tide may wash away the political hopes of the Christian nationalists. We can get to a place where we have, for the first time, a truly multicultural, multiracial democracy. Elections, including this one, offer the possibility that a small number of votes can serve as tipping points. When I was growing up in New Hampshire, there was a U.S. Senate race, right, statewide race, in 1974 between Lewis Wyman and John Durkin that came down to 2 votes. And within elections, there are tipping points. The Electoral College system creates many potential tipping points. The 2000 presidential election was decided by about 500 votes in Florida and 1 vote on the U.S. Supreme Court. It is not an exaggeration to say that this presidential election and the future of democracy and the climate could come down to about 17,000 votes in Pennsylvania, or roughly the population of Tacoma Park. And you can make a difference. After this service, Florence Foltz, and others will be hosting a table at the back of the sanctuary that offers a variety of opportunities for getting involved. And I'll be meeting with folks on Zoom at coffee hour for the same purpose. You can write letters or postcards to voters, make phone calls or send texts, give money, talk with your friends and family to make sure they have a plan to vote, or knock on doors to help get out the vote. This is literally mobilizing for our collective liberation. I want to leave you with these words from the conclusion of Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Tipping Point: How Little Things Can Make a Big Difference. Look at the world around you. It may seem like an immovable, implacable place. It is not. With the slightest push in just the right place, it can be tipped. So go forth and tip the scales of history.
I'm Deborah Bonsack, she, her, and today we're going to do joys and sorrows a little differently. Each Sunday here at UCSS, we lift up our hearts, sometimes bruised by life's losses and suffering. Let your sorrows and concerns rise to the surface of your thoughts now. In a moment when I ask, what do you release that will bring balance to your life? Please respond by naming your sorrows out loud and all together so that we may release them as one. Okay? All right. So now, what do you release that will bring balance to your life? What do you release that will bring balance to your life?
Now, let your joys rise to the surface of your thoughts. When I ask, what do you hold dear? This time, please respond by naming your joys out loud and all together so that we may celebrate them. What do you hold dear?
I invite you now into a time of balance, a ritual of balance. On the altar, we have this scale. Hopefully it works. And rocks, a bunch of rocks. The rocks have words on them. And I'd like to invite people, as they're willing, to come up. We have about 13 rocks, so 13 volunteers to come up, take a rock, read the word on the rock into the microphone, and then put the rock into this bucket. If this works right, we'll get a balance. So, yeah, come. Which rock do you want? Pick a rock, any rock. Okay.
Freedom. Tipping point change.
Compassion.
Commitment.
native plants.
Need some more. We need some more folks.
Rule of law.
Equity.
Fair election.
Or, oops, there you go.
Vote.
Actually, we still have 4 more. How did that happen?
Defending democracy.
Integrity.
Reducing carbon footprint.
Shift to renewable electricity.
Equinox lesson, balance of our being.
Hi, good morning. My name is Tricia Hansen, she, hers. As we saw just a minute ago, and as we've been lulled into this sense of balance, we are going to attempt another ritual of balance. So as we saw, it takes combined effort to create balance. We're turning now to a ritual of engagement. We all can play a part. The size or the nature of our individual roles, it's not what is important. The important thing is to show up. Or as Michelle Obama says, do something. So, in a moment, we're going to invite everyone here who is willing to participate to hold hands, one by one, with the person next to you. Our attempt here is to come together to create a circle of engagement, a circle of compassion. So Donna B. doesn't just build scales, but she also wrote this chant, and Deborah Thornton came up with the music. So Deborah's going to lead us in this chant as we do this. So this is going to probably be a little messy, but we are humans, so that's what happens, right? But starting over on this side, going to ask people, here, I'll keep the mic, going to ask people to, one by one, hold hands. Yep. All right. So please stand up, however you feel. You can sit. Yeah, probably standing. Right, and choir fill in here. All right, but starting in this section, all right, so holding hands. Slow, slow, slow. Okay, and we're going to start our chant, but starting in this section, holding hands. You ready to?
So the words are on the screen, and we will sing it like this. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of hope today. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of love. Everyone has a heart to play. We build a chain of equity today. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of love. Nature. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain with nature today. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of love. Freedom. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of freedom today. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of love. Caring. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of caring today. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of love. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of fairness today. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of love. Strength. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of strength today. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of love. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of action today. Everyone has a part to play. We build a chain of love. Yay! Woo! Woo! Oops. Don't let go. Everybody's got to hold hands.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, let go for a second. Okay. See, now watch. Again. Hold on.
Reconnect. Yeah. See how important you are? It takes us all. It takes us all. It takes us all.
Okay. Is that right? Okay, here I go. Okay, this is out of the Gray Hymnal, 506, by Barbara J. Pascal. Okay. How about now? Yes. Actually, okay. Closer. Is that good? Okay. May the glory of the passing away of autumn lie about us, fresh gold for a time. And when the dark comes and the cold, may we remember how today we stand in glory, how we walk in bounty, heaped upon earth's dark carpet, how we move knee-deep in abundance. Flung against night's winter curtain, we are thankful for its coming and for its passing.
Our closing music is a round, and we're going to sing it all together, and then we're going to do it in 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll probably sing it through 3 times in a round. But watch for me, especially part 1. When you get to the last phrase, and I have my hand like this, that means keep singing that last phrase. And then keep singing that last phrase until we're all together again in unison at the end. And we'll now sing it together in unison. I'll stand back just a little so I feel like I'm not in a strange spot. And I invite everyone to rise in body, voice, or spirit. Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and be. Let's do it together again. Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me. Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me.
Guardians below, powers of focus, we thank you for your presence. We thank you for your gifts. Hail and farewell. Powers above, We thank you for the expansion of our compassion. We thank you for your many gifts and your presence. Hail and farewell.
Guardians of the North, powers of earth, thank you to the earth and our ancestors for your presence, your wisdom and balance. Go if you must, stay if you will. Hail and farewell.
Guardians of the West, powers of water, thank you for your presence and cleansing healing to allow us to overflow with strength. Go if you must, stay if you will. Hail and farewell.
Guardians of the South, power of fire, thank you for your spirit of renewed commitment and hope. Go if you must, stay if you will. Hail and farewell.
Guardians of the East, powers of air, thank you for your presence and gifts of clear vision. Go if you must, stay if you will. Hail and farewell.
Okay, it's working. My name is Tamara Bowman. Pronouns are she and her. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. This morning we gathered and sang, we've prayed and reflected, and now I'm going to share some opportunities to connect in community beyond Sunday morning worship. The printed program is a handy way to get plugged into our many activities and programs, and we have 3 announcements we'd like to draw special attention to today. Our first announcement today is about a chance to build power for our values. On Tuesday, October 15th, members of Action in Montgomery will meet with County Executive Mark Elrick to advocate for climate justice, affordable housing, equitable health care, and the expansion of both public, preschool, and after-school programs. The meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 15th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Colesville United Methodist Church. UUCSS has committed to bring no fewer than 10 people to this action, but we hope many more will join us for this high-energy, joyous evening. If you need a ride, please email aim@uucss.groups.io. We'll do our best to line one up. We hope to see you there. Second, please remember that we need all families to register for religious education. It's a simple, easy registration and gives us important information like allergies so we can keep all our kids safe. We also need a few more folks to be backup background checked adults, again for safety reasons. You can find out more at the RE info table in the back of the room with the Legos. The back is that way. Third, find out how you can help increase participation in the election. Defending Democracy will have a table after the service with information on how to canvass, phone bank, and postcard with UU The Vote and partners, Center for Common Ground, and the Environmental Voters Project. These campaigns are reaching out to registered voters who may not otherwise vote. Even small increases in voter turnout can have significant effects in tight races. And finally, a skit from our Catoctin team.
Why are you just standing there? There's so much to do.
Well, I've been contemplating leisure and slowness. This little snail shell we got at the water service a few weeks ago really makes me think about time differently.
No, I'm very busy at this time of year.
But autumn is all about slowing down.
Not if you want to come to the UUCSS Catoctin trip.
Oh, right. I think I must be late to sign up.
Well, it's time to move then. Don't you want to come? Why are you stalling?
Well, I don't want to miss the fun of collective cooking, crisp October air in a national park, log cabins, and lazing around with my knitting project. I hear there's a craft hour this time, but this snail has been very absorbing to me.
Oh, hurry. You have until 5 o'clock today to register online.
Okay, I'll do it. What's involved?
Sign up at the link in the weekly all-church email, or come find me during coffee hour, and I'll make sure you have the link. It's easy. You can come just for the day or stay overnight for the campfire and Sunday morning service. That should be nice and peaceful for you.
Okay, I'm signing up. Thanks for extending the deadline. Can I bring the snail?
As long as the snail helps with some cleanup, sure. See you on the mountain.
See you on the mountain.
I leave you with these closing words from Anna LaPay. Hope does not come from calculating whether the good news is winning out over the bad. It is simply a choice to take action. And this from Margaret Mead, one of my sheroes. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed individuals can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Our worship has ended and our service begins. Please join us in the foyer to learn what you can do, and do something.